welcome to Let's Talk Spoop. Welcome to the Asylum. I'm your host, Don. With me today is Jeremiah. Jeremiah.
And we're here to review Animal Planet movie. At least apparently it aired on Animal Planet. I don't know why. Do you watch Animal Planet for movies?
No, they do have some pretty interesting cat documentaries on there, though. So that's fun.
Yeah, but not Blood Lake Attack of the Killer Lampreys.
Well, maybe they thought that the educational value of lampreys would be beneficial.
I mean slander.
Yes. Does it do? All right, so for those of you who haven't seen the previous episode, today we're talking about Blood Lake Attack of the Killer Lampreys by the Asylum.
As seen on Animal Planet. It says that on the poster. As seen on Animal Planet.
As seen on Animal Planet. This movie is a delightful mockbuster of, I want to say Piranha?
I want to say Piranha 3D.
Yeah, Piranha 3D, although it's not 3D.
Or just Piranha in general, the spawning. There's a lot of Piranha movies before they brought them back with 3D and 3 double D.
Which is the most important D.
Which are basically mockbusters as is. Anyway.
It's like a mockbuster of a mockbuster. It's like Inception level mockbuster. So yeah, Blood Lake, Attack the Killer Lampreys. It opens immediately. First thing you get, a sex joke, using pipes as a euphemism for the vagina, and the guy who makes the joke immediately gets murdered.
Yes, from Chuck, straight from Chuck. Mark Christopher Lawrence, the manager of the Buy More in Chuck, without Subway commercials in this one to save him, straight up gets off at the very beginning.
Within like 20 seconds. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Poor guy, because this was like right when Chuck was, when people would actually know who he is because of Chuck. No, just off.
Immediately. So, as fitting with horror movie stereotypes, they do in fact kill the black guy first.
Yep.
Now that I think about it, was he the only black person in the whole movie?
I think you're right.
That's racist. Anyway,
this movie doesn't try not to be. It's not like it's high art.
So we then transition to our main character, who's a park ranger, which we know how great these movies are when the park ranger is the main character, who essentially pulls a Boromir from Lord of the Rings by telling everybody that lampreys don't bite people. And then immediately gets proven wrong.
Yeah. So this movie, unlike pretty much, unlike pretty much all of the Asylum movies we've seen so far, has a cast of people that are in other things. Like, Mark Christopher Lawrence. I know him best from Chuck. I love Chuck. Great show. He's in this one. This has stars Shannon Doherty, who I don't know what he's in, but I know Zach Ward's in lots of stuff. Christopher Lloyd, of course, little known guy. Jason Brooks, Susie Abromite. Actually, like, who is that blonde lady? I mean, I guess she's more like sandy blonde. Like, who is she? And I'm like, oh, she's in Jessica Jones.
She's also in like 5 different Power Rangers series.
And she was in the Purge movie I haven't seen yet, the Forever Purge, in Battle Los Angeles, Chicago Med, which I just started watching, so I haven't gotten to like where she is yet. At least I don't think.
Yes. I think
at this time she was in Supernatural.
Asylum was just like hunting at the time for actors that were really in need of money.
Whoever was in the area.
Yeah, just like, hey, you want to be in this?
And yeah, I mean, I want to look up for Shannon because she has first billing. Her and Christopher Lloyd at the top of the poster. Charmed. Oh yeah, there's lots of people from Charmed in this one. She's also in Secret and Mallrats. So there's 2 actors from Charmed. And there's 2 actors from Chuck in this movie.
Yeah. So not a bad cast. It could be better, but for Asylum standards, this is like top tippity top. This is getting a Baldwin level of a cast. You know what I'm saying?
Christopher Lloyd, I'd say, is more fun than that Baldwin. Even though this is Christopher Lloyd, like when he's doing Stephen King movies. What was that one? Lost? Is it Lost Highway? Silver Highway? Quicksilver Highway?
I don't
Lost
remember.
Highway, I think, is not him, but I think Quicksilver Highway, I think it is, where he's like the narrator guy who like finds the person on the side of the road. It's like 2 movies with like 2 stories put together. But he's like just going crazy, and they let him.
Yeah,
I don't think the director knew how to direct him, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of felt that he called Adam West like right before he was in this and was like, "Hey, tell me about being the mayor of Kohan, so I can put that into my character." Because really, it's essentially how he is. He's just like this ridiculous, over the top character the whole movie, and it's pretty good. I enjoyed his performance a lot, but not as much as I loved Rich. Rich was my favorite character in this entire movie. I was so sad when he died, even though I knew he was going to die from his introduction. He's just this awkward, makes bad puns character. And I was like, oh, my heart.
And what's weird with Rich is like he's someone who you've literally seen in everything, but you don't know who he is. Because I was like, who is that guy? And my wife's like, oh, he's in Dumb and Dumber. I'm like, who is he in Dumb and Dumber? Oh, some dude on a phone. Oh, okay, he's in Junior. So random extra. Well, yeah, probably. He's in Austin Powers. Yeah, who? Oh, random extra. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Okay, he's in Jessie. I watched, the Disney Jessie series. Like, okay. And just like him going through all this stuff that I should know him under, you do realize he is not a main character in those. Well, he's in Scrubs. I did recognize him in Scrubs because he's Mr. Hoffner, in like 2 or 3 episodes.
And once again, we go back to talking about Scrubs.
There's a lot of people in Scrubs, to be fair. It went on a long time, and there was a lot of guests, especially after Brendan Fraser died.
Not in real life.
That was the saddest episode in that entire series. But very well done. I was impressed. Wizards of Waverly Place, I know him in that one. Penguins of Madagascar, I know him in that one. He's a voice, though. I know his voice from there. He does lots of voice work. But
the point is, Rich was the best character. I love it.
I think he was having the most fun.
Definitely. So back to the story.
Story.
Yeah, right. Story. So
hey, there's a lamprey expert in this one, played by Jeremy Wade. He's an expert who I don't think actually knows what lampreys are.
Yeah, true. He has a hickey on his neck to prove it.
Actually, to be fair, do you know who he is? Do you actually know who that guy is?
He looks really familiar.
He's the host of River Monsters and like Mighty Rivers and those type of shows.
My arms keep disappearing.
He's a host on Mysteries of the Deep, Mighty Rivers, Dark Waters, River Monsters on Animal Planet.
Oh,
so like he's supposed to be that type of person. You've probably seen him in those type of things before.
Gotcha. But yeah, so Dad, whose name I forgot, tells his family the lampreys are fine. His little son finds the lamprey. He's like, hey, Dad, can I keep it? He's like, yeah, sure. Nothing wrong with keeping a carnivorous fucking fish. Carnivorous freaking fish. And then his daughter goes to the beach to meet her new boyfriend and brings a little brother, which I honestly, I really liked what they did with the boyfriend in this, because it's not like the usual trope that you see in movies where like a girl moves to town, she meets a new guy, and they start going out, and she thinks he's great, and then he turns out to be a piece of crap. As we like to say at work, a pizza chip. Instead, he's actually like a genuinely nice human being, and he like sees the brother playing on the beach by himself, and he's like, hey, why is your brother by himself? And the brother, by the way, on the beach is wearing like jeans and a hoodie, and it's just like, kid, there's no way you're comfortable. But she's like, oh, he doesn't really have any friends, he doesn't have anybody to talk to, he's kind of awkward. And he's like, well, I'll be his friend. And then he proceeds to actually be the kid's friend, and it's just like, A+. Like I really like this. He's good.
There was another black person in this cast. I just remembered. She's from Charmed. She's in this movie. She's Marcy.
That the guys the Jake Ward's sister, or Jake Ward's wife's sister or whatever, or Jake Ward's wife. That's it. Yeah, because her sister was dating the guy that dies in the very beginning of the movie. They actually
also
put this plot for once.
Jason Brooks is in this movie, who I have to laugh. I'm like, that name sounds familiar. So when I lived in the Caribbean, they watched Days of Our Lives every single day. It's like you don't knock on anyone's door at 7 at all because they're watching Days of Our Lives, but they're 10 years behind. Jason Brooks was in 476 episodes of Days of Our Lives from 1993 to 1998. And that show's still going. The show's going on for like 40-something years now. Yeah. He was also in a lot of episodes of Baywatch, like 45 episodes of Baywatch. And now he's like cop in Super 8, or in this movie, or cop in Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Or he was in Revolution. But it's like, man, I guess they just knew that your body can't get you all these roles you want because you can't do anything else. He was in the Saint, the new one.
The Eliza Dushku one?
Yes.
That's where I recognized him from, because I've never seen Days of Our Lives. But the Eliza Dushku Saint deserved a series, and I'm upset that never got one.
So he was in that one, just another, role. And the blonde chick that you were talking about is Kiara Hanna. She was on like Starsville and Alabama and so on. Who I also recognize. The one I'm talking about was Susie Abramite, who plays I believe she's the neighbor. She plays Ellen, but she's in Jessica Jones, she's in Chicago Med, she was in Legends of Tomorrow, Forever Purge.
Which is why you recognize her, because of your strange love for Legends of Tomorrow.
That's because that's just a weird show. The fact that they had a villain who was basically a Furby doll that gets giant and gets worshipped as a Norse god and fights basically Godzilla. Like, you don't see that in other things. But yeah. So continuing on with the story, lampreys, a type of fish that eat people when they fall in there. There's a lot of them, thousands of them apparently. They look really bad, as you would expect. They look terrible.
It gets to a Sharknado level of just like an absurd.
This poster, when I saw this poster, I was like, oh, look, it's going to be like the X-Files with the worm, flatworm dude in the toilet. No, this poster is better than this movie. That is a freakier poster than anything in this movie.
That is a fact. 100%.
Good poster. I'd put that poster on my wall if I did not cause nightmares to all my children.
I might even do it anyway.
But go on, move on. Continue with the story.
Okay. Anyway, so they find out, or the park ranger guy has been called in because they're having a problem.
Because that's what they do in Asylum movies. They call in the park ranger, usually a Native American.
Yeah, that's fair. This guy was not. They call him in because like the lampreys are like getting past the dam, but they're like clogging it up in one of the turbines or something. So he's like, oh yeah, we gotta kill off all the lampreys. And that's when we meet Rich. Rest in peace, Rich. And he's like trying to convince them to help him kill the lampreys, and that's where Christopher Lloyd comes in as the mayor. And he's like, hey, if you kill off all these lampreys in 2 days, I'll buy your family a nice steak dinner. Because apparently that's the incentive everybody needs. And then he immediately like, wait, you're not vegan, are you? Because that would be really awkward. Which I appreciated. And then obviously it escalates. He actually goes directly to the press when he realizes that the lamprey thing is a problem. Instead of like trying to hide it or anything, he just immediately like calls up Channel 6 and is like, hey, I want to make a press conference. And then Christopher Lloyd dies in probably the most comedic manner they possibly could have killed him in, which is they shove the lamprey up his butt. That then comes out.
Did you ever have
does come out
Slither flashbacks in this movie?
a little bit.
Because
A little bit.
I definitely had. It reminded me of a lot of scenes from Slither. So here's some of the pictures. This poster, of course, is glorious.
See.
As
seen on
that looks like a squirrel. Wonderful. Yeah, this is like Slither. Reminds me a lot of Slither.
It does. I love
especially the shower scenes. These are all Slither scenes.
I love the scene where like they're trying to fight off the lampreys, and the daughter is in the background with the weed whacker, and she's just like back there with it, just in the background.
So in this scene, like, where did all this blood come from? That's
him.
Blood doesn't drip like this.
No, it does not. That
like
is
bleeding from his butt.
I think the lampreys dragged him into the corner. Shandori.
Look at all those wonderfully bloody legs. That's not how blood works. Somebody running out of water.
Yeah, somehow
the Slither scene.
Somehow the blood just stuck
More
to
Slither.
just the legs while they were all submerged in the water at the exact same height, because that's how blood works.
Power Rangers have to be in this movie, of course. Well, at least I will say about this one. The blood effects work. They actually went with real, there was some real practical blood effects, which is a plus. They don't always do that with this type of movie.
True.
The CG looked bad, but I kind of expected it to. If it had looked good, I probably would have been thrown out of this movie. The acting helped that I recognized a lot of them. Music, I remember nothing.
Absolutely.
Zero things about the music. Locations, they filmed it at a dam in California, so it's not like they went weird with locations. It looked fine where they filmed it. They know how to move a camera, unlike some of these movies where it's like, oh, look, why is the camera never moving? Battle Star Wars, what the heck?
I'll never forgive that movie for just existing.
Why would we forgive that movie at all? It's terrible.
Never forgive, never forget.
But I just find it weird. So this is known as the first horror movie to ever be on Animal Planet. The poster says that's seen on Animal Planet. Have there been other horror movies on Animal Planet?
Have there been other movies on Animal Planet?
Let me see. Because I don't recall ever watching movies on Animal Planet. It's like going to Discovery to watch
anything that's not a documentary. Like there's plenty of documentaries on Animal Planet that are like movie length, so you could call them a documentary movie, but never like an actual no crap movie.
And because Animal Planet is part of Discovery, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is part of the Discovery family of networks.
Original programming. Animal Cops, Animal Cops, Animal Cops. They have this crossed off on their website.
What, Blood Lake? They're just that ashamed.
I imagine it was someone's idea, and they just like, please make it go away forever. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the worst movie we've seen. And I will say this, but at least we didn't have the weird like CGI of like the snakes moving back and forth in the same motion, getting closer and closer, but never actually moving. Or that they don't actually get closer until they're ready to attack. These ones are just kind of like worms on walls, and so like they're kind of like slugs anyway. Yeah. So I guess it made sense.
So I guess I would put this on like a technical aspect. This is probably better than Gatoroid, but on a like enjoyment aspect, Gatoroid is by far superior to this film.
There is a cat fight for no reason.
For absolutely no reason. And lots of good little in-jokes. And yeah, I really enjoyed Mega Python versus Gatoroid. I just want to put that out there. So I enjoyed this film. However, I wouldn't like recommend that you set aside an hour and a half out of your life to watch this. If you've got an hour and a half that you're doing absolutely nothing with, and it's raining outside, so you can't wash your car or mow your lawn, then maybe,
But
But
at least there's no sequel to this one. The ending. Okay, this movie ends with them thinking they killed them all, and then like one of the cleanup workers gets offed by a lamprey at the very end, and I was like, no, please, there can't be. There's not. There's not another one. At least not on the list that we know of. And
we also didn't know about the third War of the Worlds movie.
that's true, but this did. Oh no, that was like a 15 years. Stop it. Stop it. This movie is fine. If I saw it on TV, I'd probably have watched it anyway because I saw Christopher Lloyd and I was like, oh, I know these people. I probably would have watched it because it's not bad enough that I just turn it off. It's not good enough that I'd be like, oh, let's watch this. Set aside to watch this as a family. No, it's like I am bored. I'm going to be doing something. I can have it on. It's not offensively bad. It is better than those War of the Worlds movies, except probably the last one, just because the last one had kind of cool designs, maybe. Um, I'm a really big sucker for like mechs.
That's fair. I'll give you the mechs.
I'm a big sucker for those. So
if this movie had had mechs, it would have been a far superior film.
10 out of 10, recommend. Especially if the Lampreys were controlling the mechs.
Yeah, right. Just like
or Christopher Lloyd
from his office with a joystick. Like that's
Michael
his,
J. Fox
his
appears in the middle of nowhere on another mech.
That's his lamprey defense system. He's been planning for generations. Yeah, nah, that would have been fantastic. But no, unfortunately, there were no mechs.
It's fine. Of course, it keeps its same welcome, about 90 minutes. That seems to be the sweet spot. But I'm not that excited about this one. I guess my main problem is it's really hard to enjoy a movie where like anytime you go in the water, things are going to eat you. At least with a shark, like there's a shark, not like 30,000 sharks.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the drawback of Mirror. I don't know if you remember the horror movie Mirror, but like in that movie, it went from like when you looked in a specific mirror that this monster lady was going to get you, to literally any reflective surface whatsoever, to include water on the floor. She was going to get you.
So it's like Darkness Falls, where at the beginning it's like she could be there. Then by the end, she's literally every time there's darkness, she is in that shadow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Darkness Falls was better because it was action packed.
But if you're gonna see something like this, watch Piranha 3D. That one is cheeky enough; it knows what it's doing. It is a very dark comedy, but it knows exactly what type of movie it is, and that's why it actually got really good reviews. And they made a sequel, 3 Double D, which knows exactly what type of movie it is too. Those are better, and they're the same type of movie. Yeah. They're just more intentional, cheeky with it, which I think helps. But yeah, so let's look at what our fate is next time. There's a lot of films on this list that we could see. Look at this: 2-headed shark, 3-headed shark, 6 guns. There's a Amityville movie on here that I'm pretty sure you'll want to see someday.
I'm actually excited to watch that one.
American Warships. I'm pretty sure you're gonna love that one.
I was thinking about doing Amityville Haunting for a Let's Talk Spoop episode. I have it on my list.
Pretty sure you're gonna want to watch American Warships.
Almighty Thor looks awesome.
We saw Independence Day. Let's remove that one.
Yep.
King of the Ants. Lots of Mega Shark movies. Mm-hmm. Those ones, of course, are going to be great. Nazis at the Center of the Earth. Number 1 cheerleader king up.
I'm looking forward to Paranormal Entities.
Not looking forward to Sex Pot.
I want to know what Sherlock Holmes 2010 is going to be like.
I actually am looking forward to Avengers Grimm because that was them spooping Age of Ultron.
True.
But let's see what they give us. Z Nation, I'm pretty sure, is a TV show.
I think so too.
Movies. Yeah, because that's like a 6-season TV show. Universal Soldiers.
There's no way that's in the Universal Soldier franchise. That's got to be a ripoff. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm filming outside and it's darker. I'm like slowly fading into the background over here.
Well, I see it. So this is made by
Yeah, this is probably a mockumentary or a mockbuster of like
of Universal Soldier sequels.
Yeah, when 4 or 5 came out, probably.
Okay, because I was like, there's no way. Like maybe, but okay. So let's see what we have. Ready to spin?
Yes. Wheel of Asylum. Turn, turn, turn. Tell us the movie that we shall burn. Bigfoot.
Okay.